And welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how my little seedlings are coming along. I'm going to show you what I found at the nursery this week, and I'm going to take you into my garden and show you what my next step is for my square foot gardening. So stay tuned and we'll see you after the intro. Welcome back. Now let me start by showing you my little seedlings. So this first tray that I have here is mostly Brussels sprouts, cabbages, some zucchini. I do have a few sunflower seeds in here and lettuce. Now I have 3 trays altogether. The second tray that I have here is mostly flowers. These are flowers or herbs that I use in the garden that attract pollinators, so that I have little busy bees helping me pollinate all my vegetables. So the last tray that I have here is mostly tomatoes. There are some peppers in here as well, and of course my 10 weeks before the last frost date. That includes celery, leeks, onions. There is some stevia in here as well. Now I don't know if you can see this, but I do have a few duds in here, seeds that never germinated properly. So for instance, my leeks, I think I might only have like 2 or 3 of them. I'll plant them, see what happens, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just go to the farmer for the leeks. It's no big deal. Let me show you what I bought at the nursery the other day when I was there. And I was going around looking for other stuff, and once I was done, not that I was really looking for stuff. I mean, I already had the stuff that I wanted, but I love going in there and just looking around and getting inspiration. When I went into this one part of the greenhouse, I saw a whole rack of potatoes. Now, mind you, I have never bought just potatoes just to plant. I go to a farmer, I buy them from there, and if they happen to sprout, I put them aside, and those are the ones that go into my garden. The reason I do that is because I know the farmer that I go to doesn't spray their potatoes so that it stops them from sprouting. The potatoes that you buy at the supermarket, they spray them so that they have a longer shelf life, whereas the ones from the farmers don't. So that's how I normally get my potatoes every year. But this year I thought I was going to buy some potatoes, different varieties that I wouldn't normally get at the grocery store, or unless I go to a specialty store. So these are potatoes that I thought I would give it a try. Now they're all going to go into large planters, large pots, whereas my regular potatoes that I would put aside that have sprouted, they're going to go into my potato box. So these are just, I'm going to see how it works out and give it a shot and see how they turn out, and if I like them. And if I do like them, I will set a few aside, let them sprout, and plant them for next year. So let me show you what I found. I picked up 5 different varieties of potatoes. Here I have like a red variety. Then I have a variety that is, I guess, good for French fries. Then I have your typical Yukon Gold, which I don't normally buy it, so it's a variety that I'm going to try out. Then I have a white potato that I'm going to try out. Now these are varieties, I just kind of randomly picked them. And then I have a purple or a blue variety. Now I do find them a bit pricey. You only get maybe 5 or 6 potatoes in each bag. And for that amount of potatoes, I'm already paying $9, well $8.99. So that to me is a little pricey. So I'm really hoping that these are going to work out and that I can sprout some for next year.
So I brought you out into my little greenhouse area because I need to do some work out here before I can bring my little seedlings out. Now mind you, this is still, what are we at? Middle of April, not even the middle of April yet. But in this little tent area, it is 10 degrees Celsius, so it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit in here. So that actually is starting to warm up quite nicely in here. Now the soil has thawed and I can start pulling things out, like pots that I might have put in the ground to winter over. I have thrown out my lavenders, which are now outside of the greenhouse because I just don't have the room for them in here. I just kind of threw them in here last minute. And unfortunately, I have little seedlings that I started, I guess, in December, and then I went away for a while, and when I came back they were already looking pretty sad. Well, because of all the seedlings that I had started, I needed room, so they got thrown out here. Unfortunately, half of them didn't make it, and well, you kind of saw what that one looked like. I mean, it was, they're all pretty much looking like that. So I have to make room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the soil that I had planted them in, I'm going to just distribute them into the raised bed here. Now I do have to fill the raised bed a little bit because what has happened is, because when I built this raised bed, the bottom layer, it was actually wood and leaves so that it wouldn't use too much soil, which works out great, but then it starts to settle. And once it settles, then I've got, a space about a half a foot on some areas, and some areas are good, but I want it leveled out, and I have to mark out my square foot. So I'm gonna use twine to do that, so that when it's time to bring out my little plantlings, I am set to go. I don't have to do that later on. I'm also going to show you some of my little things, some of my little plants that have shown some signs of life, which is great because that means they wintered over well.
So here I have my strawberry bed, and as you can see, I have about 6 inches of board showing. So I want to take out my strawberries and fill it up with some dirt. This section really sank down a lot, so I want to fix it before the season and before they all start to grow. Now, I tried to videotape it as best I could, but unfortunately something happened to my video and I had to salvage whatever I could to show you. So I've taken them all out, added some dirt, and now I'm just dividing them and placing them in again. I have enough to actually fill the entire area, plus some extras, and those extras are going to go out another pot that I have outside of the greenhouse with the asparagus. So as you can see, the edges are a lot better, it's a lot higher. So once I start putting my plantlings in, they should have enough soil for this year, so I don't have to really worry about that now. And I am going to now mark out my square foot. Now I still have, what I used last year were these little thumb tacks, so I'm going to reuse those and put my string around that, and then I will show you how the end product looks like. So I just finished laying out my square foot, so I'm going to show you what the end result looks like and how much more organized it seems. The reason why I do the square foot gardening is because I only have so much space and I'm very limited as to where I can put things. I also do companion gardening so that I will plant tomatoes with carrots because they help each other out. I will plant strawberries with asparagus because, again, those two plants help each other out. So by doing this, not only does it provide me with so much more space for for my garden, but it also, I don't have to use pesticides and herbicides in order for my plants to be healthy, because they're going to help each other out. So let me show you my layout. In a square foot with my twine. And so this gives me a good indication as to where everything needs to go. Now, I didn't bother putting anything in my strawberry plants because that section there is designated for the strawberries and the strawberry only. Now, as the little offsprings will come up during the season, I will continue to keep planting them in that area, and it's just going to fill everything up eventually. So there you have the layout for this year. So as my little seedlings will grow, I already have spots laid out for them, so I will bring you along when that time comes. In the meantime, everything is ready to go. I feel so much more organized. I also want to show you the outside of my garden now that all the snow is gone. So let me show you that. So this is the outside of my garden. As you can see, there is the raised bed that I had mentioned earlier or later in the winter time when I was doing my other videos. So I have my garlic is growing there, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, there's some little ones coming up, which is a fantastic sign. There's another one right there. So this is, I'm really pleased about that. Back there are chives, and I had mentioned earlier that I had strawberries someplace else. So here's my strawberry, and in the middle there's actually asparagus. Then I've got, those are a flower, I believe they're a bellflower. Again, I need to add soil to that. My grapes, that is another grape plant. I'm not quite sure what that one is, the variety. And then I've got, this is sort of like an organized mess here. So I had added some soil. I have my rhubarb that's sitting right there, but I will add more plants, and I actually have to square this one off still, but that's for another day. My blueberries, and then I have my horseradish, which needs to be put in a different pot. And then I have my peppermint plants, and that is actually sweetgrass, which is also going to go into a bigger pot. I love using that as an incense. So what I do is I let it grow, I braid it, and then let it dry, and that's what I burn as an incense. This is my potato box. Actually, I had just kind of dumped in last season's flowers, so I just threw that in. That I still have to clean up. And then this is my other bed that has my my garlic in it, and I don't see anything growing in there yet, but that doesn't mean that there isn't anything coming. Oh wait, there's one. So right there, there's a little spot that's showing some sign. So as it gets warmer and the sun gets around more, it should show some more sign of garlic coming up. So there you have it. There's my the side view of my garden. I forgot to mention when I was talking about the potatoes, the ones that I had purchased, a good indicator as to when to plant potatoes is when the dandelions come out. That's the rule that I use. I think it's an old wives' tale. I'm not quite sure how I came about that, but I might have even read it somewhere, and I'm not even sure where. But that's pretty much how I gauge as to when I plant my potatoes. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more gardening videos, you can check them out there. And if you enjoy how-to videos, you can check those ones out there. Until next time, bye-bye for now.